Right here, down. Protect your out. We put the work in. Let's finish. Let's do this. Family, I'll do 1, 2, 3.
You see, we dream chase, cause that's all we was given to start with. Then we realized the dream was obtainable. Now look at us.
What's going on, Eagles Nation and TMTP family? Welcome back to another episode here on the Main Thing Podcast Presents. It's your bull, Mr. Owns. And after further review, the call stands. I'm still official with no stripes.
What's going on, family? It's your man, Big Huss, the one you trust, tapping in with that midnight green medicine. Now, today we've got a loaded episode because the Eagles just gave us one of the biggest information dumps of the entire offseason. For the first time since taking over as offensive coordinator, Sean Mannion publicly spoke about Jalen Hurts building this offense from the ground up, what he wants the Eagles to attack and to become. And after hearing what he had to say, man, look, I think there's some very important clues about the Eagles, which fans should expect heading into the offseason, or heading to this season, excuse me. But that's not all. Vic Fangio also spoke and dropped some major updates regarding the Eagles secondary, Cooper DeJean's role, Marcus Epps, Drew Mukuba, Michael Carter II, Jonathan Greenard, Riq Woolen, Jihaad, the whole defense, right?
Whole defense.
Man, how long he's planning to stick around Philadelphia. We'll also discuss why Fangio may have quietly revealed one of the more important defensive adjustments of the offseason, why Sean Mannion's comments should excite Eagles fans. We'll finish up things by congratulating A.J. Brown on an incredible personal milestone. Look, this is one of those episodes where every single update matters because all these pieces connect into one bigger picture. How the Philadelphia Eagles plan on defending their championship expectations moving forward.
But you already know, Huss, before we dive into all of this information that we got in this video today, to our loyal supporters, thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all know it's all love. The Main Thing Podcast Presents can't happen without the support from y'all. And to our new supporters, welcome to the community and our family. Let's continue to do our part for the community and our family. Please continue to like the videos. It does help with the visibility of our channel in the algorithm. Disrespect that comment section. Share and subscribe to the community and our content. And last but not least, make sure to turn on them noties and keep your ears and eyes peeled to the streets like your local neighborhood watch. Wow. So you don't miss when me and Big Huss drop this pressure on y'all.
So the message was sent. I hope it was received. So, fam, let's start with some Sean Mannion, right? Now, I believe this is one of the most important stories from everything that's happened this week, right? The Eagles hired Mannion months ago. We've heard about him. We've discussed him in depth. We've analyzed what he might bring, right? But now we finally got to hear directly from the man who is helping shape the future of this Eagles offense. Now, one thing became crystal clear immediately. Sean Mannion isn't trying to reinvent the wheel, which I love to hear.
Yes.
Right? He's trying to maximize the talent already inside the building. As Eagles fans, that's what we want, right?
Yes.
When Mannion discussed why he wanted the job, he repeatedly talked about culture, alignment, leadership, and organizational excellence. He specifically mentioned Nick Sirianni, Howie Roseman, and Jeff Lurie and said everything he believed about the Eagles from the outside looking in became validated once he got inside the building. And if you want to be truthful, that's not the first time that we've heard that. When Saquon came over, he said much of the same for real, right? So that should tell Eagles fans something important. This wasn't simply a promotion opportunity, right? This was a football fit, right? A culture fit. Mannion saw an organization whose values match his own philosophy. What is it? Tough, detailed, together. You've heard
Amen.
it 1,000 times here in Philadelphia, right? Because, like I said, this is what this team is supposedly built around. And so for him to come in with those same shared philosophies, that's big news because those are the exact pillars this Eagles organization has been built upon, right? And through this championship era, that's the culture that has been set in place. So to have your OC coming in and bought in, like I said, and share those values, man, that's one step closer to greatness right there. Everything is aligning within the building. This is the time when you want it to align. We don't want to be trying to fix this mid-season how we've seen the seasons past. Let's get it right and get it right now.
Yes. And to add on to your point, Big Huss, real quick, while we're talking about Sean Mannion and him being brought into the Eagles organization and the excellence that we have been having here in Philadelphia for a multitude of decades. Just as you mentioned, Saquon Barkley said the same thing. Tariq Woolen, when he came in, he has said the same thing. A lot of free agents who we bring into Philadelphia always say the same thing. And it's funny, even when those players aren't even drafted by the Eagles, they're drafted by another team and they come over to Philadelphia, they always talk about the drastic change and difference in the organizations. Even I remember off the top of my head, the bull, what's his name? Kendall Lamb, or Kendall from Miami.
Yep, Lamb.
Yeah. When he came over, he was throwing shots at the Dolphins, talking about that the Dolphins organization's not like the Eagles organization. And it's kind of hard to be like the Eagles organization with Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman running everything. But this should get y'all ears perked up because the national media always tries to spin narratives and lie about Philadelphia. You remember when we were doing our offensive coordinator search and everybody kept saying, is the Eagles offensive coordinator job really that desired? Do people really want that job? Yeah, a lot of people really want that job. The difference is you have to be built and cut from a certain type of cloth to take over this offensive coordinator role here in Philadelphia. When you succeed, you said this multiple times on previous videos, because when you succeed, you get head coaching jobs from Philadelphia. When you fail, you get fired. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. You get your pink slip, you out the door. Ask Kevin Patullo how that is. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people probably got swayed away from the offensive coordinator job, not because it's not an appealing or sexy job and or a lack of talent here in Philadelphia. No, they're nervous about if they don't perform to expectations here in Philadelphia, what their future could be. Because if you don't perform, y'all Laporta, the door, straight up like that. Straight up like that.
But you hit it on the head. This is the city of opportunity. If you come in here, though, and you hit it off the park, whether that's player, coach, you're in the front office, whatever the case may be, you will land you a job somewhere else. Yeah, I mean, and in a higher position, in a promotional type capacity. But to the point you just made, though, but if you come into this city, you let the fans, the media, the stress and everything get to you, what you said, Laporta, the door, get them out of here. We do not play.
We gonna Uncle Phil, DJ Jazzy Jeff, you throwing you out the door for real. Yeah, for real, bro. Because we a different breed here in Philadelphia, especially our fan base. We know the game. We're passionate about our team. That's why we're always constantly ranked as the best fans. And I just saw an article that said that Philadelphia, I forgot, it's like Philadelphia has the best organization or the best fan base or something like that. But they're not lying when they say that. People come from all around the world in the States, and they know how us as Eagle fans are. We truly bleed green. This is what we are here in Philadelphia. But we do now have some blues clues here about possibly what this offense might look like in 2026 here in Philadelphia. But family, this is where things get really interesting. When Sean Mannion discussed his offensive philosophy, he kept returning to the same concepts. Kevin Patullo, take note. Rhythm, timing, footwork, synchronization, marrying route concepts together, listening to your feet. Family, this is a quarterback's league if you haven't already found out. That's coordinator language. That's offensive architecture language. Sean Mannion explained that when an offense is functioning properly, the quarterback's footwork, the route concepts, the timing, and the progression all work together naturally. The ball comes out on time with the rhythm throws. The offense stays on schedule ahead of the chains, something that we didn't do last season when it was truly predictable. First down, run with Saquon. Second down, possibly another run with Saquon. Third down, oh, let's just throw a hitch route. Cool. Now we're punting the ball. No wonder why Braden Mann got a nice, handsome paycheck this offseason from our birds because
deserved.
well deserved. He was coming on. He was coming on the field every single time, just putting the ball because we were leading the league in 3 and outs. The defense is constantly reacting when your offense is firing on all cylinders. And hearing Sean Mannion describe it this way immediately made me and Big Hus think about one thing: efficiency. Not just explosive plays. We're aiming for efficiency here in Philadelphia. The Eagles, as we already know, have always had the ability to create explosive plays, even going back to the days of D-Jack, Deshaun Jackson. But what separates great offenses from unstoppable offenses is consistency. Something we had when Shane Steichen was here and something we had when Kellen Moore was here. Can you move the chains? Can you stay ahead of the schedule? Can you avoid long third downs? Can you consistently put pressure on a defense for 4 complete quarters? That sounds like exactly what Sean Mannion is trying to build here in Philadelphia. And we're all here for it. And we got our seatbelts strapped on because we're ready for this ride.
Absolutely, that's what he's trying to build.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like you said, we've been explosive.
Yes.
This offense has shown that it could be explosive over the past few years, several years,
Mm-hmm.
for real.
Mm-hmm.
But consistency and efficiency is what we've been missing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's cool that we got the 70-yard play, but can we consistently, like our Super Bowl run year, right, string along those 10-minute drives and capping them off with points? That's what we have to get back to. Yeah, we
Mm-hmm.
have the horses on the outside, but sometimes as an offense, you got to get a little methodical.
Yes.
Let's get back to some of that. And I'm hoping that Sean Mannion, as he mentioned, can bring a lot of that. Now, let's talk about QB1 because Mannion absolutely lit it up when discussing Jalen Hurts. And from the first time OC talking about our QB1, this is what you love to hear.
Come on
He
now.
called Hurts accurate, athletic, intelligent, detailed, hungry, a great learner, and a great teammate. Now, these are things that we've heard over the years. Now, there's been some stories that have come out trying to contradict this, but from sources inside the building, folks who have worked closely with Hurts, they've mentioned these things, right? And perhaps most importantly, Mannion repeatedly emphasized how much Hurts wants to improve. And I believe him on that because just since he's entered the league from year to year to year, he has continuously and consistently gotten better. He's
Yes.
taken that step. So this is just another step for him to take, right? So think about that. This is a quarterback who has already reached the highest levels of the game, already won at a championship level, already established himself as one of the faces of the league. Yet, according to Mannion, he's still showing up every day looking for more fundamentals to work on, more details to master, more questions to ask, more ways to improve. Those are the type of players coaches love, right?
Mm-hmm.
Coach them hard. That's what Hurts asked for, right?
Yes.
Those are the type of players organizations build around. The Phillies done that. And Mannion said something that really stood out to me, right? He said, I think he can do anything we ask of him. I believe it,
Yes.
right? Because family, look, That's an incredibly powerful statement coming from your offensive coordinator. It means the offense won't be limited by the quarterback. The offense can evolve because the quarterback can evolve. And that's all we've been asking for. Let Hurts grow, but let the offense grow with Hurts. Let it be a true marriage. Don't handicap the offense because of your limitations. And I said it from a coaching perspective. Do the best for your players. So it's great to see that Mannion already has great things to say about Hurts, and it seems like it's going to be a fun project for Mannion to work on. That is Hurts, and hopefully we get the best out of it, man. Like,
Yes.
let's bring back that fun offense, that exciting offense.
Yes, bro. And I will definitely take Sean Mannion's opinion seriously. He was a former quarterback, bro.
For sure.
Quarterbacks know quarterbacks. Quarterbacks see the field differently than a lot of other people. So for Kevin Patullo, and I don't want to keep mentioning that guy's name, to say, oh, well, I don't really want him to get under center, or he's being reluctant to get under center or run play action. Kevin Patullo, where are your credentials? Where are your stats? I'm confused. It's always the ones that don't got no accolades that's always talking
That
greasy.
say, yeah.
It's preposterous to me, man. Like, I'm definitely going to listen to Sean Mannion because he was a former quarterback. So when we had former quarterbacks coaching QB1, we had success.
For sure.
And when you have guys who don't know how to coach, and maybe you just get the buddy treatment, then we saw how the offense was dysfunctional. And it's funny because me and you mentioned this, I want to say around week 3, week 4, when we were playing the Rams last season. We told our supporters, if Kevin Patullo does not get his act right, we're not winning the Super Bowl. And what happened? It came to fruition.
Right.
Kevin Patullo couldn't get his act right, and he was the reason why we were held from repeating as Super Bowl champions back-to-back seasons. So I'm excited for Sean Mannion to come in, coach QB1 hard, because we know QB1 wants to be great. We know he wants to defy the odds and shut up the doubters and the naysayers that say he can't do this. It's crazy how you won a Super Bowl and you're a Super Bowl MVP, but you're still getting doubted. But like you said in the last video, he tries to act nonchalant. He tries to act like he doesn't hear the noise. He hears the noise. But he also loves to silence those doubters and critics as well. And we're looking for a big year out of QB1. Now, QB1's legs, y'all already know, they ain't going nowhere no time soon. But one thing, family, that has been talked about for months is whether QB1's running ability will be featured more this season. Sean Mannion, yeah, he addressed that too. He acknowledged that QB1's unique athletic ability and made it very clear that his mobility will remain part of the offense, and that is music to our ears. But Mannion did also emphasize attacking defenses in multiple ways, putting stress on the defense and putting the defense in a bind. And that is very important for a successful offense, because we all know the goal isn't becoming dependent on one aspect of QB1's game. The goal is making defenses defend everything on offense. His arm, his legs, his decision making, his leadership, his ability to extend plays, his ability to attack from the pocket. That is how elite offenses become difficult to defend. When you have to defend everybody, all 11 players on offense, you keep defensive coordinators up at night. You keep the players on defense up at night. And adding QB1's legs back into the offense is just going to open up the offense even more in the run game and the pass game.
And that's what I was about to say. The use of his legs, it opens up the run game. And then, as you said on the last one, then once the run game is working, you got play action, big plays galore, and everything else.
Come on, bro.
let's not limit the offense. Let's use everything we have on that side of the ball, from receivers to running backs to tight ends, linemen, the whole
The
shabil.
whole
You know what I mean? Truly. Why walk in and half-ass it? You have one of the
facts.
most elite dual quarterbacks in the league. Why just have him sit in the pocket? That's detrimental not only to him but to the offense, to the team,
Into the city.
to the city. Straight up. So let's get back to doing what he does. And I'm not saying go out there and run it with him every other play,
Mm-hmm.
but for sure, like I said, give the defense something to think about, because as we've mentioned, when a defense hesitates, an offense wins. That's just how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
So let's cause these defenses to hesitate. Give them more than one thing to think about and look at. Right now, keep speaking on Mannion. Now, another underrated moment from his press conference came when he discussed rookie receiver Makai Lemon, our first round pick. A lot of good things surrounding this kid since he's been with Philly. The new offensive coordinator praised Lemon's toughness, hands, and ability to run after catch. Excuse me.
Yes.
Now, family, anytime coaches begin highlighting young players this early, it's worth paying attention to, because once again, he's only a rookie. It ain't like he's a vet with a multitude of tape and resume behind him as far as the league goes. He's just getting his feet wet. Now, nobody's handing out starting jobs in May. That's not
Absolutely
how the NFL
not.
works. If Philadelphia was saying that, I would say we have a problem, right? It has to be earned. But hearing coaches speak positively about Lemon this early tells us he's making an impression. And first impressions sometimes are everything, right?
Yes.
This is definitely a storyline we'll continue monitoring throughout training camp leading up to the season. But up to this point, after the press conference, right? After the press conference, it's been nothing but good things from my man Lemon. Right? He showed up in Philly and has been doing exactly what is needed of him and some. I'm very excited to see how Sean Mannion uses him in this offense, whether he's wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3, depending on the A.J. Brown situation. But I'm excited. We got some weapons on offense. We got some toys to play with. Makai Lemon is just the newest addition.
Mm-hmm. And I want to add on to your point. I'm excited for Makai. I can honestly see Sean Mannion using Makai Lemon as a Jalen Reed, with him coming over from the Packers. More of a speed guy, even though I know Makai Lemon is better than Jalen Reed. I can see him kind of trying to use him
In that role.
in that type of role, even though I could see Makai Lemon also balling out as well in this offense. Because like you said, run after the catch ability is crazy. His balance after contact is crazy. He plays bigger than what his measurables are.
That's what
And yes, and I don't want to give too much high praise now, but he's not as fast as him, but his body frame, his hands, his route running, he kind of reminds me of Steve Smith that used to play with Carolina. And if we can get anything close to that,
if he balls out and becomes a Steve Smith, Lord, I would take that all day, every day, plus the attitude. Give me the whole package.
give me all that.
Straight up.
We want all inclusive, all right?
Oh my goodness. I would look, man, and I think that's a good comparison because Steve Smith wasn't the biggest guy.
No.
Wasn't the fastest guy.
No.
He was a tough guy and made big catches. As you said, plays bigger than his frame. Steve Smith gave you all of that. That might be a good comparison, bro. A lot of folks are trying to compare him to St. Brown from the Lions, but which not a bad comparison. But Steve Smith actually might be a better one.
Yeah.
Like I said,
I
if
think
he gives us half of that, boy, Panther Steve Smith.
I still remember one of them plays when they was playing the Saints, I think, and Roman Harper hit him. And Roman Harper hit him. He got him. I like you said, that attitude, that feistiness, that aggressive.
Yeah, bro.
I'm telling you, Makai Lemon, I think, is going to ball out here in Philadelphia. Howard Roseman knew what he was doing. finagle those Pittsburgh Steelers, them people that's on the west part of Pennsylvania. Man, look, I'm Makai. He gonna come in here and do some things. I'm excited for the young boy for real.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah, bro. But on to some important news that made us smile from ear to ear, man. Like Big I said, the Godfather Vic. He ain't retiring anytime soon, man. We got a lot of articles, a lot of news at the beginning of last season saying that Vic Fangio was leaning and considering towards retirement, man. But look, the Don came out and said, look, not so fast, my friend, in the great words of Lee Corso. Perhaps this is the most reassuring thing that us as Eagle fans heard all week directly come from Vic Fangio. The veteran defensive coordinator said, look, he's good for at least 2 more those seasons. And that is huge, family, because we don't realize the impact that Vic Fangio has made since becoming the defensive coordinator here in Philadelphia. We had the Sean Desai's. We had the Matt Patricias. We can go on and on about the defensive coordinators that we had here. When we were bottom of the barrel, ranking 28th, 29th, 30th, I've never seen, me and Huss have never seen Eagles defense that terrible, especially coming from the days of rest in peace to the legend, Jimmy Johnson.
Man.
Coming from him, we're used to seeing top 5 units, at worst, top 10 units, until those two whatevers came in here and just, come on, bro. They put my man Sean Desai in timeout. They said, look, bro, you don't know what you doing. Go up to the box, bro. Sit up to the box, sit in the box, and learn how to be a defensive coordinator. This is one of the biggest acquisitions that we have had. I will put Vic Fangio up there for what he has done here in Philadelphia in his short amount of time, up there with Jim Johnson, to be honest with you, quite frankly. Quite frankly. You took a defense that was ranked 30th or 31st and brought them to first. Just implementing your system, implementing your scheme, getting the right players to fit your scheme, and execute at a high level. We see now we rely on our defense. We even saw last season how much we relied on our defense and how much they bailed out our team. It's a few ball games that we could have easily lost if the defense packed it up and say, you know what, man, look, the offense ain't moving the ball. They're turning the ball over. It's multiple 3 and outs. I'm tired, bro. We were just on the field, 3 minutes ago. Legit. We ain't got no time, like you said, make a sandwich, call the kids, drink some water, Gatorade. We ain't had no time. You see what I'm saying? But this is where it is very important, because with Vic Fangio announcing that decision, that means continuity is staying here in Philadelphia. And that matters, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, especially on defense, on that dark side of the football. We all know Vic Fangio brings structure in his defense. He brings over 30, 40 years of experience. Yeah, crazy. He brings more experience than we are our age. You see, like, come on now. He's been doing this. All right. He brings discipline on that side of the football, and he holds his players accountable. That is what you need out of your defensive coordinator. But perhaps most importantly, he brings a defensive identity, which we love here in Philadelphia. Nasty, violent, physical, get dirty against these offenses. Now, the Eagles, Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie don't have to wonder who's going to be running the defense. The Eagles don't have to wonder what philosophy they're building around. We know now that Vic Fangio remains firmly in control of that unit, and expect another top 3 to top 5 unit here in 2026. And one thing, Big Huss, I want to say is I love the fact that Vic Fangio came out and announced that he's here for at least 2 more years, because that kills a storyline. You know how all the media always looking, what they doing in Philadelphia? We got to make some, because that's what sells. We could talk about every other team, but we ain't gonna get as many views and clicks as we would talking about the Philadelphia Eagles. So now with him announcing this, it ain't no storylines that we got to go through throughout this season. Oh, is Vic Fangio going to retire? Blah, blah, blah. He put all that to rest. Look, he turned the snooze button off, got his little sleep mask, night, night. He's here in Philadelphia and here to stay, man. I'm excited to have Vic Fangio remaining here. He can remain here as long as he personally wants, to be honest with you.
And think about even from a player's perspective, to hear that your DC is staying so you won't have to learn a new defense, or maybe think about, I might be shipped out because I was drafted or bought in for this scheme, and now we got to bring in a new DC. I might not fit. It kind of just puts everything to bed for everybody. Players and defense can relax and just focus on what they've been doing, continuing to learn the defense they've been in now for the past 2 years. I was sitting here thinking, and I know Fangio's only been here for a short time, but his impact has been truly felt. You could probably say one of the best coaching hires outside of head coaches, coordinator type hires for Philadelphia since Jeff Stoutland. I mean, just the impact that he's had, it has been a Jeff Stoutland kind of impact.
Yes.
Like you said, to hear he'll be here, at least we don't got to worry about the defense. We can just focus our attention on trying to get this offense together and really locking in on what they need to do. But like you said, sticking with the defense, got a little bit more to talk about there, right? So the Don's not retiring. He'll be here, right? But let's talk about a little Cooper DeJean, man, our favorite nickel. Look, big defensive headline. Now, we all know Cooper DeJean, arguably best nickel in the league, if not the best, top 3 nickel in the league.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Well, he may be playing in new positions. Now, Cooper DeJean is said to be playing safety in base packages. Some fans immediately overreacted, but after listening carefully to Fangio, this is less about moving DeJean and more about maximizing versatility. Versatility is a word we've used over and over and over again on this show. Philadelphia loves versatility, whether that's offense, defense, special teams, coaches, whatever. You have to be able to do more than one thing, and Cooper DeJean has proven he can do that. Now, in base defense, DeJean plays safety. When the Eagles move into nickel packages, he'll slide back to his home, that nickel spot, right, where we've grown to love him. Nickel. There you go. But that's the key detail. The Eagles aren't taking away his role. They're expanding it, right? This gives Fangio even more flexibility before the snap, more disguises, more unpredictability, more opportunities to confuse opposing quarterbacks. And if there's one thing we know about Fangio's defense, it's that they thrive on making quarterbacks hesitate. It's not always about getting the sacks. Even though we love sacks, we'll take them. Bernard, give us some 12 sacks. We'll take it, right? But sometimes it's about just the pressure, the disruption, right? Push that quarterback off his mark. That little slight push, it might turn into an interception for a touchdown. It might turn into an error. You never know. All I know is for a defense, good things happen. When you can pressure, for an offense, not so much.
That's absolutely correct, bro. That's absolutely correct. And especially with the young dogs that we got up front on the defensive line with JC, JD, Jalen Hunt, who we've been a big fan of since we drafted him. Then bringing over Jonathan Greenard as well, bro. We're going to get a lot of pressure on quarterbacks here in 2026. And I feel with Fangio being comfortable enough to move DeJean to safety, not only shows what type of player Cooper DeJean is, but also that says a lot about what we got from Seattle and Riq Woolen.
For sure.
Because with him manning that outside, now Fangio feels comfortable enough where, oh, okay, I can leave my two corners on the island. I can leave Tariq Woolen on the island. I can leave my man Quintanamo Alcatraz over there on an island.
Mhm. For
Then
sure.
slide Coop back to safety. You see what I'm saying? So, yes, Adoree Jackson wasn't terrible last season, but you can see the upgrade that we got here at CB2 to allow Vic Fangio to get more flexible and move his chess piece around the defense. That is what's key because a lot of people don't realize football is a game of chess. You're trying to outsmart your opponent. You're trying to think 10 steps ahead. And not only do we think 10 steps ahead with the whole organization in general and with the front office, we think 10 steps ahead with our coaches and players alike.
For sure.
Come on now. And so, with Big Hush just talking about Coop moving to safety in a base package, that means in nickel, he slides back down, and we still got a little hole at that safety position. And so now we got to talk about the safety competition that we got here in Philadelphia. Now, Godfather Vic also made it quite clear that the starting safety job opposite of Andrew Mukuba remains open. Now, a guy that me and Big Huss liked ever since he was here back in 2022, starting next to CJ Gardner Johnson. Then we got the opportunity to bring him back last season, and he played a very, very big role in the defense last season, and that's Marcus Epps. He appears to be the early on favorite to get that starting nod here for the safety position in Philadelphia. Vic Fangio praised Marcus Epps' instincts. He's praised his experience and he praised his composure, something that you have to have as safety. As Big Huss, he was a fine safety, so he already knows what's going on that back end. You feel me? So if you listen to Fangio over the years, you know he doesn't throw compliments around carelessly or lightly. Vic Fangio is hard nosed. He could be stubborn at times. He's an old coach. He like they don't do that back in the day. You see what I'm saying? So Epps clearly has the trust of the coaching staff, which is key. But Michael Carter II is also entering the chat. He said, hold on. Y'all can't just give Marcus Epps the job. I came over here from the Jets. I took a pay cut to remain here in Philadelphia. So I'm trying to get dibs on that safety position too. But what the Philadelphia Eagles are doing is experimenting with him at safety because of his instincts and football intelligence. We all know that he was the nickel with the New York Jets. But again, to add on to Husky's point, we love versatility here in Philadelphia. That's the theme of this defense. Position flexibility, multiple alignments, multiple looks, multiple answers to whatever the offense is throwing at us. We got a response and an answer back. And I'm like I said, I know that this defense is going to be one of the top units in the NFL in 2026.
Absolutely. 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 Once again, as you said, Mark Carter second, flexibility, versatility. As a defense, and you can make everything almost look the same without folks having to travel here and move there, it bodes well for you. It confuses the offense just that much. But as far as Marcus Epps goes, look, Marcus Epps might not be one of those big household names, right? He might not always give you the flashy plays. But one thing about Marcus Epps, he's going to be where he's supposed to be when he's supposed to be there.
Yes.
He will never be out of position. He is a very disciplined player. He's a veteran player, has been around the league for a while now, right? Making his name. So With Fangio coming out saying that, like you say, he doesn't get praised lightly. He
At
does
all.
not. He is a true OG that way. He does not get praised lightly. So for him to come out and say that about Epps, the trust is there. He's trusting Epps to be there. I don't have to worry about this player not being where he's supposed to be when he's supposed to be there. And on defense, that goes big. Goes a long way. That's trust is huge, especially talking about DC the player and vice versa. Now, Fangio also has some exciting things to say about the Eagles' newest addition, Jonathan Greenard, who received praise for both his pass rush production and his ability to defend the run. Sometimes as edge rushers, you don't get both. He's a hell of a pass rusher, but he can't defend the run, or he's very stout versus the run, and his pass rushing abilities need a little bit of work. So for Greenard to come over and be well and excel at both, that's big, right? Then you have Riq Woolen, who generated perhaps the strongest endorsement of anyone Fangio discussed, right? The Eagles defensive coordinator called him a rare athlete and expressed genuine excitement about bringing him to Philadelphia. Now, Riq at 6'4", possesses physical tools that simply aren't common at the cornerback position. It is rare. When I tell you rare to see a corner at 6'4", the biggest cornerback I remember seeing growing up, I don't know if you all remember this, Chris McAllister from the Ravens. You all wore number 21.
21.
Yeah, 6'3", 220. I'm looking like, this guy is huge. Now, mind you, Riq is an inch taller than this guy. He's 6'4". It's big to be out there on the island, right?
And another person to add on to your point with big corners, Brandon Browner. That used to play with Seattle.
Now, he is 6'4". I forgot about Brandon. Brandon Browner had been around a while. Should have been, looked like a linebacker out there on the island. He was a big, I forgot. That's a good one. Had a good career. Right, so to be a 6'4", it is truly rare for that position. But if Fangio can unlock consistency from him, this can become one of the best value additions of the entire offseason, right? Meanwhile, you got Jihaad Campbell, who continues progressing through his shoulder rehabilitation. That's good news. Fangio expects him to be ready for training camp, which is big because I believe that he missed training camp last year. Dealing with the shoulder and didn't really get started till like third or fourth game. So for him to be there through the offseason, really going up in the training camp, that's big for Campbell. He needs the reps. He needs the experience, right, to make sure that he's locked in. But this is exactly what Eagles fans wanted to hear. High praise from your edge position, right? When we know we needed another consistent, as Mr. Owens, veteran edge. He called it veteran edge. We got it. Like you said, no more Coop, because last year in base defense, Cooper DeJean was playing outside corner when Adoree Jackson was either concussed or messing up, right? So to have Riq Woolen in the fold now and you can move him back, that's huge. You don't got to worry about CB2. And then with the loss of Cooper DeJean, who I was praying and hoping we could somehow keep, it didn't work out. So Jihaad Campbell, he's next man up. We expect big things from him, and I believe this young man will deliver. We just got to keep him healthy. So to hear him progressing through the shoulder rehab, things going well, training camp on the way, keep a lookout. Like you said, Mr. Owens, this defense, should be back in that top 10, top 5 conversation next year.
Easily. And to add on to your point about Jihaad, we know he's ready. He knew what it was last season. Yeah, Nakobe Dean was playing out of his mind, and me and you both wanted Nakobe Dean to come back here to Philadelphia, but the writing started to be on the wall. And I think Jihaad last year knew, okay, look, let me soak up all this knowledge from Nakobe while he's here, while we still have Zach Bond. And then once he got in there, he got his reps. And he didn't look out of place because he was actually on pace to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. We just had a dog that was in front of him. You see what I'm saying? So I've been thinking that even since last season, he's been getting his ducks in a row. He's been getting ready for this moment to take over that starting linebacker job right beside Zach Bond. And I don't think it's going to be a drop-off this year at all.
Because even if you look at the production, which was limited for him last year, you're talking about a guy who had 80 tackles, forced fumble, fumble recovery, timely interception. He made plays in his
Come on, bro.
limited time last year. So to have him in a full-time role going into 2026 season, yeah, he should hit the ground running.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's going to have a big season, especially besides Zach Bond. We already know what Zach Bond could do, and then on top of that, you already know Billboard Bond. You already know that Trotter Jr. He trying to make an impact in the name too. So Jihaad, he's going to be competition, pushing everybody to be the best version of themselves. That's how you get Super Bowl winning teams. When everybody's competing and everybody tries to make everybody better, that is exactly the results that you get, and that's Super Bowls, which we want to do in 2026. But family, before we wrap it up, hold on. The Eagles just traded AJ Brown. They just traded AJ Brown. I'll play with y'all. Jokes on you. But hey, look, also real. We gotta show some love to Arthur Juan K. AJ Brown. So the Eagles superstar wide receiver is officially off the market, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. He married his longtime girlfriend, Kelsey Nicole Riley, this past weekend out in California, in Tupac Boys. By all accounts, it was even though, look, me and Big Huss ain't getting no RSVP, we ain't getting no. Look, we got some little inside sources. You feel me? We got some inside sources that told us what happened at the wedding. But by all accounts, it was a beautiful celebration surrounded by family, friends, teammates, and members of the NFL community. Now, we know Arthur Juan K has become one of the leaders of this football team here in Philadelphia. And it's always great seeing players thriving away from football as well. So what me and Big Huss want to say here from the Main Thing Podcast Presents family is congratulations to Arthur Juan K and Kelsey Nicole Riley, also his family, as they begin this new chapter together, man. That's something special, man.
Absolutely. Major love, major shout out to them for real. Hey, that's another. You got your ring. Hey, you just got another one.
Two rings.
Okay? Two rings. Two rings. I love to see it for you for real. Love to see it for your family.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we step back and look at everything we learned from this week, right? I believe one message becomes clear. The Eagles are evolving.
Yes.
Sean Mannion is building an offense centered around timing, rhythm, adaptability, and maximizing QB1. Now, the Don, he's building a defense centered around versatility, flexibility, competition, and development. And throughout the entire organization, the standard remains exactly the same. Championships are the expectation. It's about hoisting that Lombardi. Anything short of that, that's a failure. Nothing we heard suggests this organization is satisfied, right? Nothing we heard suggests they're standing still. They're teaching, they're developing, they're adjusting, evolving, and preparing for another run. That's what championship organizations do. They don't sit on their hands. They get active. And Philly is always active. Please believe me.
Always active. As long as we got Howard Roseman, he's constantly going to be active here in Philadelphia.
Sure.
We're always going to be in Super Bowl conversations. It's never going to be a point in time where, oh, well, we're just going to go in rebuild mode this season and we're probably winning only 5-6 games. We're not that type of organization. We expect, like you said, championships. And at the bare minimum, we expect at least double-digit wins. We don't do those 8 wins, 9 wins. What? Come on now. Not here in Philadelphia. We're the gold standard here in the NFL. So, look, Y'all keep wishing and hoping and praying for our downfall. What T Grizzly say? They praying for my downfall. Just praying for my downfall. I'm Lord Ted. I stood tall. Show these how to ball. We ain't going nowhere. We gonna be here for a while, okay? Don't worry about it. But look, family, look, that is going to do it for today's episode here on the Main Thing Podcast Presents. Look, if you enjoyed me and Big Hus breakdown, we want to hear from you in the comment section right down there, right below your nose and your eyes, all right? How excited are you about Sean Mannion's vision for this offense? Do you like Cooper DeJean getting snaps at safety and base packages? Who wins that open safety competition that me and Big Hus talked about? And what are your expectations for QB1 and the Eagles heading into the season? We want to hear all the comments. We want to know from y'all how y'all feeling, what y'all views are. Let me and Big Hus know what is going on in your world. But look, y'all already know, to our loyal supporters, thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all know it's all love. The Main Thing Podcast Presents can't happen without the support from y'all. Y'all know who y'all are. And to our new supporters, welcome to the community and our family. Let's continue to do our part for the community and our family. Please continue to like the videos. It does help with the visibility of our channel and the algorithm. Disrespect that comment section. Share and subscribe to the community and our content. And last but not least, make sure to turn on that notification bell, also known as that Liberty Bell looking thingy, so you don't miss when Swoop comes out with the Eagles news and updates.
I already know the vibes. As always, family, thank you for the continued support. Thank you for rocking with us. Hey, and if you don't know, I go by Big Hus.
And I go by Mr. Owns.
And this is the Main Thing Podcast, where we keep the main thing the main thing. Stay blessed. Stay safe. This flag will fly till we die. I'll see y'all on the next one. Hey, we out.
It was I was gonna make a lot of money doing what I wanted to do. I went after it, and it was a struggle to achieve it. But you know what? I caught that bitch. Dream chaser.